So I'll tell you about Chrome Web Store today from various perspectives. So just to remind you what Web Store is, this is Chrome Web Store, chrome.google.com/Web Store. How many of you have installed at least once something from Web Store, right? And how many of you have uploaded something to Web Store as developers? Okay, good. So like 50%. So the goal of my presentation is to I actually have two goals, I guess. One goal is to give you some idea why you might be interested in using Web Store as a new distribution channel if you are not doing this already. And the second goal is to give you some tips or some things which are harder to find in the documentation and which might make your app more effective and just bring you more users. So our Web Store supported on all our desktop platforms, Mac, Windows, Linux. We don't support any mobile browsers yet, so don't try to open the link from Android or iOS. What kind of content we have in the Web Store? We really have four types of, or actually three types of items in Web Store. We have applications, and applications can be hosted and packaged. So hosted applications in Web Store are really just links to websites. So if you have a website, then making a hosted application in Web Store should take not more than a few minutes. But the benefits that you will have if you have this hosted application in Web Store is that you will be able to get user reviews, user feedbacks. For users, it will be easier to find your website, your web application. They will be also able to read some additional information like description and see some screenshots. So I'll go in details about that later. Packaged apps are something slightly different from just hosted apps, hosted websites. Packaged apps is in some way a website which is packaged as a zip file, and at the install time, it's downloaded to the user's machine so that it can work offline without internet. So this is really one of the biggest advantages of packaged apps is that they are offline by default. They just work without internet. Another advantage is that they have access to various APIs which are not available for just normal web apps. For example, they can interact directly with a USB port. They can also use TCP/IP just directly. And they can do many other things. They also run in their own separate windows. So on operating systems like Linux or Mac or Windows, they just feel like native applications. Extensions are things which implement some functionality in the browser in Chrome which doesn't exist there otherwise. They interact very, very closely with the way Chrome renders the web pages. So one example of an extension is obviously ad blocker is a good example, or extension which translates all the words when you double-click it, and many other things you can do. And themes is just a way to add colors to your browser and maybe set some background images to make the whole browser experience more personalized. So we get oftentimes questions from developers. They are wondering how the homepage of Web Store gets constructed and what the way is to get to the top of this home wall, to the top of the homepage. I really just wanted to give you a view of how this wall gets constructed and what kind of content is shown here. So we really have the first section and the third section are sections manually curated by a Google merchandising team. So these are hand-picked apps. Google uses different signals to decide which apps to promote here. The signals include things like the apps should be high-quality apps, high-quality app. It should also have some popularity already. So if you want Google to pick up your app for a promotion here, you really need to invest into your own marketing a little bit first. It should probably use some features of the platform to kind of showcase the platform in a good way, and it might be also a new launch, which just exclusive launch on the Chrome platform. We also have some sections generated using machine learning and algorithms. We have a personalized section, which is different for every user. We try to select stuff which is most relevant to the particular user. And we also have just popular things. And then we have this infinite wall at the bottom of the homepage, which is a mixture of various streams that I mentioned above. So publishing to Web Store, it really involves three simple steps. If you if you want to publish a hosted app and you already have a website, then essentially you don't need to create your solution because you already have one. You just need to add a Chrome manifest, upload to Web Store, add some promotional information, and you're done. If you want to make an extension or if you want to make a packaged app, you really need to use the APIs that Chrome provides specifically for extensions and packaged apps to use all the features. And let me zoom in a little bit on what promotional information we require for publishing and why it's important. So you need to give us things like promotional images that we use to render your apps in the wall. And these images should be of high quality because we don't really want to show low quality images at the top of the wall. So we have a manual curation process for the images that you upload from Web Store. And if we think that image is low quality, or maybe just blank rectangle without any information, or a lot of small text, there are some guidelines for that. We mark this image as not to be shown at the top of the wall, and then your item, even if it's a very good item, very good high-quality item, it will not be able to show up at the top of the wall. So it's really important to have high-quality promotional images. It also attracts users. It's also important to have detailed screenshots which show how your app works or how your extension works, and the detailed description. We know from user studies that users really love detailed descriptions. They love detailed information. They try to learn more before deciding whether or not they want to install. They're really cautious about this. They also read reviews and ratings, so it's good to have good reviews and ratings. It's especially important if you want to monetize your app, if you want if you want your users to pay. So for monetization, Web Store offers multiple ways how you can monetize your app. The most straightforward way, at the same time, probably, the way to scare most users from the very beginning, is to have a prepaid app or a prepaid extension where the users need to pay in order to install. So if you have an extension or a packaged app, this will just work for you. Web Store will not let the user to download without paying. But if you have a hosted app, which is essentially a website, you also need to interact with a Google Web Store server to query whether the particular user has paid for the particular application. And then you can decide what kind of UI you want to render. Maybe you want to tell the user to upgrade, or maybe you can provide some free functionality. You can also enable free trial, which means that your app will be able to get installed but without paying. But then you can implement some functionality to check whether or not a payment actually happened, and maybe limit some functionality in the application. We also recently launched in-app payments, maybe a few months ago. In-app payments give you a way to configure what kind of in-app products you want to have in your extension or in your application. And then the code snippet on the right side, if you have an extension or a packaged app, that's really all you need to do to query what kind of in-app products a particular user who is currently using your product has purchased. And then you can also act accordingly, maybe open some game level or enable some functionality. You're also free to use your own custom solution. We don't enforce using specifically Web Store solutions. You can use anything you want. And you can also obviously use ads just as you do it for websites. So this is a feature which was just launched yesterday. Web Store format for the manifest file supports internationalization and localization to multiple languages. So you can say, here is my title in English and my description in English. Here are my title and description in Chinese and German and every language that you care about. In case you don't really know how to translate, or you don't want to deal with it yourself, how to translate your description and your app title to other languages, we now have this semi-automated process, and you can find it now in your Chrome Web Store developer dashboard, where you can actually use the professional translations to request translations for your listings. The prices are, for most languages, it's 10 cents per word, and the turnaround time is less than a week. When we support 25 languages, and the good news is that for all of you who are here listening to this talk, we want to offer a refund up to $100 for all translations that you make from Web Store. by the end of this month. So you can just go to the link there. It's also written on the whiteboard. And the first 50 responses will get free refunds for all translations made from Web Store. Another thing which developers often ask us about is why publishing an app takes so much time, why it takes so long. And that's because we have a review process to fight malware, abuse, and other bad things. Extensions, for example, are very powerful, and they can do very bad things to the user's browser. They can steal all the data potentially, and we definitely don't want this to happen. So we have a two-stage review process. When you click the publish button, the app does not immediately, does not immediately get available to all your users. There is some delay. And we use this delay to first scan your item using automatic malware fighting pipeline. And the pipeline can say, oh, the item is safe, and then we publish it. It can say the item is not safe, it's malware, and then we take it down. And then it can also say, I don't know, but it looks suspicious. Sorry. So then if it looks suspicious, we send it to manual review process. And it can take slightly more time in that case. So we have experts to look at each particular item. So what's important here is that even though it kind of sounds a little bit scary, most items get published within 60 minutes. And then it's very important to have to monitor the email that you use to publish items in Web Store, because Google will use this email to send you notifications about any problems which are happening with your items. And in some cases, it's very effective to just appeal or to reply to the notification in some sensible way, and then the item can be restored very quickly again. Another feature I wanted to tell you about in Web Store is user feedback. So everybody knows that it's important to listen to user feedback. We offer a feature which kind of helps to simplify interacting with your users. You just need to opt in from your developer dashboard, and this has two effects. First, the users will start to see a link to a support page in Web Store for your item. And when they go there, they can leave bug reports or feature requests or just ask questions. And on the other hand, you as a developer will see count of unreplied feedback items, and you'll be able to reply to them or just react to them in some way. Another interesting channel, which was just launched a couple of days ago, is called Google Play for Education. So I want to kind of tell you about a little bit more about this. Google Play for Education is a place where Google Play team and Chrome Web Store team kind of combine their efforts to make this product for teachers and their students in the schools. So currently, it has multiple things that it has Android apps and Chrome apps, which teachers can install to their students' machines and use that for educational purposes. So at this moment, we just manually handpicked a handful of Chrome Web Store apps and added them to Google Play for Education. But at some point in the future, not too far away, we will open this on the opt-in basis for every Chrome developer, and you will be able to just opt into Google Play for Education program. Your app will go through some additional review process to make sure that it's really a good educational app. And then you'll be able to get this very powerful distribution channel and use kind of sell your apps or just give it for free to many schools. You can go to this URL, developer.google.com/edu, and there is a sign-up form where you can sign up to get notified when this opt-in opens for everybody. So just to summarize the tips that I've already mentioned, adding high-quality promotional images is a good thing. Having good screenshots and detailed descriptions is also valuable, helps users to make their decision. It's important to monitor the email address that you use to publish your apps, because Google will use it in case something is wrong. It's good to monitor the user feedback, and there are tools for that in Web Store. It's also good to localize to multiple languages if you target users in other languages as well. And invest into your own marketing, and then if you have a good app, then the chances will be higher that Google merchandising team will notice your app and make it even more popular. The last thing I wanted to mention is our statistics, which is available to web store developers. So the built-in statistics is something that you just have for free for every web store item. Currently, it includes impressions and installs that you get on a daily basis. We are also going to add very soon sales statistics. So if your app uses any of web store payment options, you will see additional charts and tables summarizing how much money you are making. And the last option that you can use is you can just give us your Google Analytics ID, and Chrome Web Store will ping your Google Analytics ID every time when an app is installed, and you can then just slice and dice this data using all the power of Google Analytics. So I have a few links here. I think the slides will be made available after Google I/O, so you'll be able to just click through them. One thing I wanted to mention here particularly is a Cordova project. A Cordova project allows you to run Chrome Web Store packaged apps also as iOS apps and Android apps. So it's a tool to convert Chrome Web Store app to an APK file and upload it to Android, to Play Store, or to iOS app and upload it to App Store. And then there are some other videos that you can use, or you can just watch about the Chrome apps platform and ecosystem. And now I think I'm ready to answer questions. I have a mic here. Just raise your hand if you want to.
So I have 2 questions. At the beginning, you mentioned for the wall, that Chrome Web Store wall, that we have to invest our own in marketing, but also if there's going to be, say, an exclusive launch or a new launch, that the the marketing team or the merchandising team will put that there. So how do we tell the merchandising team, hey, we're doing an exclusive launch on the Chrome Web Store? Like, what's the communication channel there?
Right. So how it works is one communication channel you can use is the discussion group that we have. We monitor it, and if you really have a good app, and if you mention this on the discussion channel, then the merchandising team will definitely pay attention to this. Then for large partners, we have direct communications with them, and when they launch something, we try to notice this fast and also help them to promote it in the web store. But our idea is that we are going to build a merchandising team pretty soon, which is going to be proactively looking for new launches and new popular apps. So in the ideal scenario, your app will just get noticed by the merchandising team without you doing anything. But I think it's also good to use Google Group to tell about your app.
And second question is, for the impressions in the analytics that you showed, what is defined as an impression? Is it just the app showed up in the wall, or is it when they clicked and they got the more zoomed in, their modal just looking at the app or extension?
So impression is currently the event when the user opened the detail page of your item. So when they clicked, if it just shows up in the wall, we don't really log it.
When you use Cordova to publish in Google Play or App Store, can you use the payment APIs that you provide? Will they work?
That's a good question. I do not know the answer to that, but I know that they keep adding new APIs all the time. So the project is very fast evolving. And then just a year ago, they had just a very small subset of Chrome Apps API ported to Android and iOS. And over the year, they added a lot more. So I think it's either already there or will be added at some point. So you can go and check out this Cordova website, and they should have the details.
OK, I just wondering, because maybe Apple doesn't want another payment API.
Well, it might be integrated with their...
Oh, it could layer on top of the Apple. Well,
yeah, it might be on top of Apple. I don't know the detailed answer to that.
Thanks.
I have a question. To be featured on the Chrome store, do we need to have a package app, or can it be a hosted app?
It can be a host app as well.
Yeah.
We actually we will try to promote as well as packaged apps and their extensions and hosted apps. We think they all are important, like same level citizens in Web Store, and we will definitely be promoting all of them if they're of good quality.
Okay, thanks.
One more question.
For the how does the payments API connect with the say enterprise? So like in the managed domain, you can specify, I want everybody in my domain, my organization, to have this extension installed or to have this app installed. How does that work with the payment stuff? Like if it requires, say, a one-time payment or requires a subscription, how does the, say, administrator pay for all these users, because this is a very flexible number? Is it dependent on the number of users in the organization, or does it wait till they actually install the app? I don't know if you might be beyond the scope of this discussion, but.
Right. So for enterprise, I don't think we have a good solution in Web Store to just buy something for enterprise if it's a paid extension or paid app. So I have like two answers here. One is there is definitely a way for you in cPanel to just pre-install something for all domain users. You can say this extension should be installed to all domain users or this app. And then when they sign into Chrome with their domain account, it will be installed. I don't think you can currently use this for paid apps, but there's definitely a way to do this for free apps. And the second answer is there is also a project called Google Application Marketplace. And this is somewhat separate from Web Store, but this is actually focused on enterprise use case. And you can install things there, and they will get added to this to this launch icon with this colorful squares at the top. I can show you it. So essentially, this launch icon here, it will have the applications that you install as a domain administrator to all your domain users. So you can use Google Application Marketplace if you want paid solutions, or you can just install free extensions from Web Store and the cPanel and the special Chrome Web Store section. Okay, so thanks for your attention, and I'll be around if you have more questions.